Hey guys, Joe here with Sports Grid. It's time for Puck It with Joe. We've got a pretty full slate today, 8 games on, and I'm liking the majority of these games. I think there's lots of opportunities to jump in on some totals, some sides, and some player props. So we're going to go over all 8 of these games. I see the comment, why don't I go live earlier? You know what? I like to have as much information about who is going to be in net as possible because that really does change things. Good afternoon, Matt. Welcome to the show. Let's make some freaking money. Let's get this money today, you guys. Okay, let's look at the first game here. We have the Seattle Kraken, who have been rolling hot except for their last game. They did get shut out versus the Pens. That was a 3-0 shutout last night. They were coming in with so much value. I fell for it thinking that we should look at the Seattle Kraken. So that was a loss yesterday. Yesterday was kind of up and down, hit with a couple of dogs and saved the ROI for the day. But overall, it was a hard day. The New York Rangers, they've been having a hard time as of late. They did get the win over the Capitals on Sunday. That was a low scoring win in that one. When I look at this battle here, odds on FanDuel plus 188 here for the Seattle Kraken, minus 230 for the New York Rangers. Total of 5.5 plus 100 to the under, minus 122 to the over. I can't take this one to the over. I just can't get there. I look at the New York Rangers and I really do expect them to lock down defensively. My question mark here is the goaltender in net for the Seattle Kraken tonight. Will he be able to stop the New York Rangers? The New York Rangers, they really need to turn things around. They have a hard road trip on deck. Well, at least the start of the road trip. They start that on Thursday. They have the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings. We know how strong both of those teams, especially the Kings, are on defense. So I do think the New York Rangers will be looking to lock down defensively in this one. And then they have the Ducks and the Sharks. So I do think it's kind of a look ahead situation to those first 2 games. But I think in this one, we see Igor Shesterkin have an absolutely fantastic game. He's confirmed in goal tonight. He's got a 2.83 goals against average, a save percentage of 0.904. You can take him over 24.5 save shots on goal. Now, this number is low, but it's because we're looking at the Kraken here. They're averaging that 29.3. The Rangers team has done strong defensively, limiting those shots on goal, but they're allowing right around that 29 number. If Igor Shesterkin saves the majority of those shots, I do think we'll just squeak over 24.5. I think this is a 25 shot game that he saves. So it's just going to go over that total. It's a hard one to bet, but I would be looking at that over there. Now, another thing I'm looking at is the Kraken's team total. I'm going to take the Kraken's team total under 2.5 because I do have that faith in Igor in this game. I think it's a low scoring game for the Kraken in this one. I do think both of these teams turn towards defense instead of coming out really strong offensively, especially after being shut out, both of them in the last game. The Rangers weren't. They did score 2 goals on the Capitals, but you look at the Kraken being shut out 3-0. It was last night, you guys. So lots of people look at the defense on the second night of a back-to-back, and that's why I'm kind of wanting to stay off that full total of 5.5 because if the goaltender doesn't stand tall in there for the Kraken, and we also see the Abs defense or the Kraken's defense break down, I do think this could be one where the New York Rangers come out and, put 3-4 goals on the board. And then if we just get one out of the Seattle Kraken, we could go over that 5.5 if that's the case. So I'm going to stay off that. I'm going to look at the Rangers in reg. I think they can get it done. That's coming in at minus 145. Panarin, I think, even though I'm looking at the under here, I'd look at Panarin for the anytime goal for the New York Rangers. I really like what he's been doing. He's been going over that 1.5 points in 5 of his last 10 games. So I do think you still look at him in this one to be able to get some points or the goal on the board. Adam Fox as well, another person you should circle if you're prop betting in this one. Happy Thursday to you as well, Kev. Yeah, a little bit of redemption needed here today. At the end of the day, it was positive ROI, but it was just positive ROI. It was those underdogs definitely were needed. Can we do a parlay? Yeah, we can do a parlay at the end. Let's look at the parlay at the end. Happy Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for being here. You lean on the Kraken on the money line. I understand why this team is playing better. Yeah, we did get Montreal yesterday, so we got some of those dogs, and like I said, it pushed our ROI to positive. But if you didn't bet everything, if you picked and choose, some of those first periods really killed me yesterday. Let's look at the next game here on deck. We have the Colorado Avalanche versus the Ottawa Senators. This one, we got a home dog in the Sens, and the line keeps moving here. They're plus 100 now, minus 120 for the Avs. Total of 6.5, plus 122 to the under, minus 150 to the over. Now, I do think this is a higher scoring game, but I can't lay minus 150 on this total to the over. I would extend that line, but 7 plus, you're gonna get better value. You could get the push there. There is a backup goalie in for both of these teams, basically, so I do think this one has a high chance of going over in that first period as well. You can look at the Sens team total. It's actually one I'm really interested in. The Sens team total over 3.5. That's coming in at plus 108. I think this is a 4-5 style game. I could honestly see the Ottawa Senators pulling off the upset here. We have Colorado looking ahead to the Boston Bruins, in my opinion. That is on Thursday. This is their second night of a back-to-back, but this team actually, as a favorite on their second night of a back-to-back, has been a strong, winning their last 6 in this situation. So last night was a hard battle, though, with Montreal. Montreal able to get that 4-3 win over them. I think because of what a hard battle it was last night, I like the Ottawa Senators even more in this matchup. I think they have the opportunity of getting things done. Now, this team has been struggling. They haven't been covering that puck line either. They're getting those shots on goal. So, Prospectov, I can't say his name, is in net for the Colorado Avalanche. So, we'll see if they're able to hit him nice and solid in this one. Matt Sogard is confirmed for the Sens in this. Now, he got brought back up from the AHL. He allowed 6 goals on 38 shots on goal by Montreal the last time he came out and played. So that's still, it's not terrible out there. There's just not enough value for me right now to take the Ottawa Senators on the money line at plus 100. If they were giving me plus 120, plus 130 here on the Senators, I would absolutely bite here on them on the money line. But at this price, I just can't bite. I think their team total, better way to look. First period, I like both teams to score. That's coming in at plus 140. Like I said, these teams trend so highly to that over. I'd look at the goal in the first 5 minutes as well. That coming in at plus 154. And who am I looking at for some player props? Brady Tkachuk, really interesting to look at him here at plus 135. He's scored at least 1 goal versus Colorado at home. So in the last 4 matchups. So I do like him to come out for that anytime goal. He's coming in at plus 135. Rantanen for the anytime goal for the Abs. He's minus 110. He also is able to score on the Senators, especially as a favorite. He's scored at least 1 goal in 5 of the last 6 when the Avs have been a favorite versus the Ottawa Senators. So you can also look at Cale Makar. We know how strong he is. I missed taking him for the anytime goal in his last game, and he came out so strong. Nathan McKinnon also, and then Vladimir Tarasenko and Chabot you could also look at for the Ottawa Senators. I like all of those players to come out strong tonight. Okay, we're going to move on. Yes, both teams to score. I really like that. Lean on the Avs for a balance break or a bounce back. Bounce back for the Avs. Yeah, we could see that out of the Avs for sure. Lauren, shout out to you as well. Okay, let's look at the Ducks. The Ducks are taking on the Washington Capitals. Now, plus 146 here for the Anaheim Ducks. The Washington Capitals at minus 178, total of 6.5. Highly juiced to the under at minus 140. We've got plus 114 if you think this one's going to go over the total. I don't think so. Darcy Kemper in net tonight for the Washington Capitals, and Dostal in for the Ducks. Now, Dostal, his numbers don't look too hot. He's got a 3.55 goals against average and a .901 save percentage. But the last game versus the Lightning, he allowed only 5 goals, but the defense allowed him to be absolutely peppered out there. It was 41 shots on net. So when I'm looking at his numbers, like a 3.55, I would expect that on an average about like 29, 32 shots on net that he's facing a night. 5 goals on that 41 shots. That does impress me here for Dostal. Now, this team played last night. They got the overtime win versus the Florida Panthers, which I did not expect. So, second night of a back-to-back here for them. I do think that they play a tight game, but there's no look. Let's look at the puck line. The puck line of +1.5 is -166. I don't like that. I think the Washington Capitals defense can control this game. The defense still is allowing those shots to come in, but I do have faith in Kemper. Kemper really needs to get things right. Now, they're off that loss on Sunday to the New York Rangers 2-1. So I look at it. They allowed 2 goals only by the New York Rangers, and we know the New York Rangers aren't in the best form as of late, but the Anaheim Ducks on their best form are not even close to what I think the New York Rangers look like the other day. So I do like the Washington Capitals here to get things done. Just trying to find value on them. You can look at them here in regulation at -120. Like I said, I think it's a tight, maybe 2-1 style game in this. So I do like that under. Again, you're laying that juice. The only problem with the under 2 is with the Anaheim Ducks on the second night of a back-to-back. I worry about how they're going to come out in this one defensively. They also take so many penalties. And when we look at the power play here, it's not killer for the Capitals. They're only converting at 13.4%. So that doesn't worry me about this total, but it does worry me how the Ducks defense will play. And Dostal, I think he'll be strong enough. I'm going to isolate the Ducks. I'm going to take the Ducks team total under 2.5. That's coming in at -104. And I think it's a really solid play in this one. I think Kemper can do enough to limit them to only those 2 goals. Now, when you look at a couple different things in this one, when we're looking at the Capitals here, they have won the last 4 first periods versus the Ducks. So you could look at the Capitals in that first period. I would not take them on the money line. I'll just look at the puck line here for you guys. If you're looking to follow that trend, taking the Capitals on the puck line -0.5 a goal is +138. Again, those puck lines killed me yesterday following those strong trends like this one is. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. You could also look at the second period puck line for them. The Washington Capitals have been strong in the second period, and the Ducks have lost each of their last, I think, 8 night games on the second night of a back-to-back in the second period. Those are trends that you find. So if you're looking at the Capitals in the second period on that puck line, laying the half a goal, that's coming in at +130. And again, that's just following those trends there of a strong team in the second period versus a team that struggles after overtime at night in that second period. So the Ducks team total under 2.5. Long story short, that's where I'm going to go. -104. The Capitals and the Ducks. The Ducks have covered the puck line in the last 6. Like I said, these 2 teams play tight games. I would also look at Max Pacioretty here for the Washington Capitals for that anytime goal. His anytime goal +200. So I do think it's a solid way to go in this one. Ducks had their win. Yeah, the Ducks had their win. Absolutely. So we don't need them winning anymore. That's for sure. Let's just get a nice, easy win in regulation with the Capitals. Empty net goal possible. Yeah, it absolutely is. And that's what I mean. These 2 teams play in tight games. So if you're willing to take a chance, I'd probably put half a unit or 3/4 of a unit on the money or on the regulation here for the Washington Capitals, and then put your other quarter unit on that puck line because you're going to get extreme value on the puck line. So let's get on to the next one here, you guys. We're going to look at the LA Kings versus the Dallas Stars. I am super excited for this game. Jake Ottinger came back into net the last time out for the Dallas Stars. Now, he wasn't as on point as I expected. He still played a solid game. I'm expecting him to come out absolutely phenomenal. I just want to see if we're getting props on him yet. And this is why I wait, because again, we still don't have props out on him. We have props on Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot 100% confirmed. Jake Ottinger not 100%. So Cam Talbot's numbers coming in at 26.5 for the LA Kings. And while I do like his number here, I'm not as confident in taking his number to the over. Now, Jake Ottinger, I want those numbers. If you guys are seeing numbers on Jake Ottinger, let me know. I would take Jake Ottinger up to, let's see, we have the LA Kings averaging 33.9 and the Stars allowing 30. I would take him up to 28.5, 29.5 save shots on goal. I really do think Ottinger will be pivotal for the Stars to be able to get this win. I do think both of these teams defensively will lock down. We know all of the trends without Jake Ottinger in net. As of late, the Dallas Stars have been going up and over their total. I'm not buying into it today. I really do think this is a lower scoring one. So let's just look at current odds in this game. I just have to find it here, you guys. Plus 112 for the LA Kings, minus 134 for the Dallas Stars, total of 6.5. Minus 122 to the under. I hate that they juiced it to the under. I'm definitely going under in this one. If you want to go over and believe in those trends for the Dallas Stars, that's coming in at plus 100. I just can't get there. I really do think defense controls this game. We know the Kings got their win last night versus the Carolina Hurricanes, 5-2. They actually started scoring in that one. They did lock down strong defensively, holding the Canes to only 2 goals. So I really did like what we saw out of their defense again in that game. This team is so strong defensively. The kill on both sides of the puck is phenomenal and strong power plays. So we need no penalties here for the Kings. They need to play a clean game. When we look at a couple of the last matchups, the last time these two teams played, the Dallas Stars got a 4-0 win. Scott Wedgwood was in net. Now, he saved 34 shots on goal. So that's what I mean. The Kings are going to be firing on Jake Ottinger. This win will come down to him standing on his head. The last time Jake Ottinger played versus the Kings, he saved 3 goals on 35 shots. So if that number, like I said, 29.5, 28.5, I wouldn't probably go over 30.5. I would just take that to that over because I do think they're coming. Now, another thing I like is that first period under 1.5 goals. That's coming in at minus 104. And I like the Kings total under 2.5. You're getting plus money at plus 124. I think at worst, this is a 3-2 game, keeping us under the total. Dallas wins, and we have to lay that juice on the money line. So that's where I'm going with this one. Talbot is playing really great. That is for sure. Stars, Moneyline, and Capitals. I like both of those. Okay. Let's look at the next game here, you guys, with the New York Islanders versus the Winnipeg Jets. Okay. Right now, minus 184 here for the Jets. Plus 152 for the Islanders. Total of 5.5. Minus 132 to the over. Plus 108 to the under. Give me the under 5.5 at plus 108. And I do think there's an opportunity to make money on the Islanders. And this scares the heck out of me. Sorokin, if he is in net tonight, and I'm going to have another look. He was not confirmed before we started the show here. Sorokin in net, he's still not confirmed. If you get a confirmation of Sorokin in net, sprinkle a little bit on the money line here for the New York Islanders. You're getting that at plus 152. Sorokin is absolutely fantastic versus the Winnipeg Jets. Now, he's only played 2 games versus them. He's got a goals against average versus them of 0.5, a save percentage of 0.980. I do think he comes out phenomenally strong versus the Jets. Now, the Islanders have won the last 7 meetings as well. This is a team that knows how to beat the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets don't love this matchup here. Connor Hellebuck has been playing elite in goal at home as well. So this one, I could see it 1-0, 2-1 at absolute worst. I think both of these goalies have phenomenal nights. Connor Hellebuck has a 2.19 goals against average, a 0.924 save percentage, over 24.5 shots on goal saved today. I cannot believe they're giving us this low of a number. And yes, the Winnipeg Jets defense has been incredibly strong, limiting those shots. But I do think the Islanders will get enough shots for him to go over this 24.5. Again, it's like Jake Ottinger. This is a number that's going to be so very tight to that number. The books know exactly what they're doing. I wish it was a 23.5, but we got the 24.5. I'd go over it before I went under it. Again, if Sorokin's in goal, it's the Islanders for me. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5. That coming in at minus 110. FanDuel will not give me no goal in the first 10 minutes. If you can get no goal in the first 10 minutes and not have to lay juice and get plus money on that, I would look at that as well. I could see this 0-0 going into the third period. You guys, I think this one is an absolute battle out there. I love what we're seeing out of the Winnipeg Jets right now. This one is, they're playing so tight. I am not seeing Appleby. I was seeing Sorokin on a couple of things. I saw Appleby listed earlier. Let me just double check on my phone here. It's gone back and forth. I'm still seeing Sorokin expected over on the score app. And if I was the Islanders, I wouldn't be starting Appleby. I definitely would be starting Sorokin just because of how strong he has been versus the Winnipeg Jets. So if it is anyone but Sorokin, don't bet the Islanders. This Winnipeg Jets team is absolutely phenomenal. If it is Appleby, I'm taking the Winnipeg Jets laying 1.5 at plus 136 to break this losing streak versus the Islanders. If it's Sorokin, there's no way. Now, the Islanders on the puck line, no value, plus 1.5 at minus 164. I wouldn't hate it for a parlay, but you look at the Winnipeg Jets. They have not beat the Islanders since December of, guess what year? 2018. It's been absolutely forever since they beat the Islanders. This team is going to come out as strong as possible, locked down defensively. Connor Hellebuck knows the weight of this game is on his shoulder. So goalie props to the over, you guys. Low scoring a game, under 5.5 at plus 108. The Islanders defense needs to stand tall in front of whoever is in net because the Winnipeg Jets are absolutely, they're firing away. The power play stronger for the Islanders. The kill, it's not the best on either side. So, and we know the defense of the Islanders have been allowing their goaltending to be peppered. So it's a scary one. You're seeing Sorokin is confirmed now. Let me just double check if I can get any goalie props now on FanDuel. Please give us the goalie props. And this exactly is why I go live later. Still no goalie props there. Under 1.5 first period, as long as Sorokin. Again, everything hinges on Sorokin. The San Jose Sharks versus the Chicago Blackhawks. This is an interesting one here. Two of the lower teams. We have the San Jose Sharks at plus 114, minus 137 here for the Chicago Blackhawks, total of 5.5. Minus 114 to the over. I would take this over before I took it under. I really do think, I know how terrible offensively these teams have been, but we've seen glimpses where these teams have been lighting up the back of the net. I don't trust either goaltender between Peter Moretz and Blackwood, but I do trust Peter Moretz more in this situation at home on his home ice. So I'd look at Chicago to be able to get the win, but I do think this is a higher scoring one. Again, the Blackhawks on the money line are minus 137. I think you could also look at the Sharks team total. Over 2.5. That's coming in at minus 122. Second night of a back-to-back here for the San Jose Sharks. I do think their defense lets down. Logan Couture, once he is back in the lineup, we're going to start betting him. I continuously check if he is in the lineup for the San Jose Sharks. So keep a watch of that. He was still listed as on IR as of right before this show. But if all of a sudden he comes and he is playing, you guys got to hit him for that anytime goal. I promise you, when he comes out on this ice, he's going to make such a difference there for the Sharks. That's about it. That's all I have to really say. Both of these teams, you know, they're not playing great hockey. Sharks have lost the last 2. Blackhawks have lost the last 3. I don't like this game, but I do think we can make money just on the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, Blackhawks and the over. That's exactly where I'm going. It is. It's a bad game. Heard Winnipeg held 19 of 20 opponents under 2 goals. Yeah, they absolutely have. They've been fantastic out there on the ice. The problem is, Kelly, they seem to struggle versus the New York Islanders. And let me just look up. I'll let you know the scores versus the Islanders and what the Islanders have done to them as of late. So the last time the Islanders and the Jets played was February of last year. The Islanders won 4-0. The game before that, they beat the Jets 2-1. The game before that, they beat them 5-2. The game before that, 2-0. The game before that, 3-1. Game before that, 4-1. Game before that, 5-4. The Winnipeg Jets won 2 in a row back in December December 4th, 2018, they won 3-1. And December 29th, 2017, they won 4-2. Every other game, the Islanders have gone over 2.5 goals, except for one game in which, or actually two games, a 2-1 game and a 2-0 game. I know Winnipeg is playing absolutely fantastic at the moment, but it does worry me when you have a team that gets absolutely dominated by another team. It's a scary situation. So I would be looking at that under 1.5. Okay, let's look at the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes are playing the Calgary Flames, my team tonight. Now, these teams did just play, and Calgary absolutely dominated the Coyotes. 4 goals in the first period. The Coyotes did score one, though. They ended up winning at 6-2. They then played the Vegas Golden Knights. They won that one 3-1. Now they're returning home. And now that was only a short 2-game road trip. But when you look at their schedule, oh, excuse me, I can't talk. I just lost my breath. 6 of their last 7 games have been on the road. So when you look at that, that gives me concern here for Calgary to be able to bet them here. Dan Vladar in net. Now Calgary at -146. So I can't get behind the money line of the Calgary Flames plus 122 here for the Coyotes to turn around and get sudden revenge. I could see it happening. The total is 6.5, -112 to the over, -108 to the under. Dan Vladar, like I said, expected or confirmed in goal tonight for Calgary. He's got a 3.43 goals against average and a .883 save percentage. Now, Connor Ingram will be in goal for the Coyotes tonight. The Coyotes struggle in Calgary. They have lost their last 7 games in Calgary. So it's hard to really bet them straight up on the money line. Let me know what you guys think here. Calgary has a look-ahead situation. I don't care what anyone says. They have the Toronto Maple Leafs on Thursday and the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday. I think they overlooked the Coyotes in this one. If I was going to take a side, and I just don't think I will get there, I would take the Coyotes at plus 122 before I looked at Calgary at -146 to break those trends. I do like better, though, looking at the first period. I think we go over 1.5 goals in the first period. That is too highly juiced at -122. You guys know I don't like laying juice. Both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 168. And that's a bet I can really get behind in this game, especially when Calgary put up 4 goals in the last game. The Coyotes were able to put up that one. I think with Dan Vladar I can't remember the last time Vladar was in net. It's been a while because Markey's been playing strong. But he's on, well, he's day-to-day, I think, lower body injury. They did call back up Dustin Wolf from the AHL, which I'm so excited that Wolfie is back up. But I would look at that first period, both teams to score. I think it's the best bet here. Goal scorers, Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley for the Coyotes, and then Majapani, I think, should have a strong day. Blake Coleman, and then Nassim Kadri for Calgary. So it'll be interesting. Plus 430, Arizona and the Leafs. I don't hate it. I absolutely love that plus money. You had me, Chip, right at the plus money. I think I better go put that in right away as well. Both teams to score. Yeah, I love both teams to score. The Flames have been playing so good. But when I looked at that schedule, I wasn't worried about the 2-game road trip, Kev. That's what I looked at. They played the Coyotes, and then they played Vegas, and then they came home. So it's like 2 days. But 6 of their last 7 games have been on the road with the Leafs and the Oilers on deck. I just don't love it. It kind of sits not solid with me. And I know the Coyotes don't play well in Calgary. The Dome's a weird place to play, but I could see it happening. Kadri, I do like as well. Yeah, my mom's definitely going to have something to say about me backing Kadri tonight. Just don't know why she doesn't like him. I'm really going to have to get to the bottom of that. She really does not like him. That's for sure. Okay, let's look at the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Edmonton Oilers, you guys. This is an interesting one. I kind of find this hard because we look at these two teams. Both of these teams should be involved in high-scoring games, but the over 6.5 is -160. You got to take it up to 7 to be able to get a better number. But these teams, they've been locking down defensively in some of these games. Martin Jones has been playing incredible. So is Stuart Skinner, which I'm not used to out of either of these teams. Their goaltending playing solid. We also look at Edmonton, how they've been locking down defensively, limiting their opponent's ability to even get those shots. So I like what I've seen out of their defense and goaltending, and it blows my mind. So if you look at the Oilers, we know they're on that win streak. They've won their last 10. They're minus 154 here on the money line, plus 128 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you think the Oilers can win big, laying 1.5 at plus 146, again, no value on the Leafs on that puck line. This is the first game home for the Edmonton Oilers. It was a short road trip. It's only 3 games. So hot right now. Montreal did play them really hard, though. They got that win in OT. It looked like they were going to break that winning streak. So they only won that 2-1 over the Montreal Canadiens. That gives me a little bit of concern. We have Toronto off a loss. They lost to the Red Wings 4-2. The Red Wings have been having struggles. So for them to give up 4 goals to the Red Wings gives me the thought here Edmonton will be able to score. But again, Martin Jones, 2.3 goals against average, save percentage of 0.924. And then Skinner, 2.63 goals against average. Where the heck has this been for his whole career? 0.903 save percentage. The defense here of Edmonton, 4th best overall in the league at limiting opponents to only 28.1 shots on goal per game. The rest of the league needs to step up if this Edmonton defense is pulling this off right now, because I tell you, this is a defense that I didn't trust in the start of the season. Their kill is at 81%, which is 11th best overall in the league. The kill is weak here for the Leafs. So if the Leafs get in the box, I tell you, with how strong the power play here is for Edmonton at 25.2%, the Leafs are going to regret playing a dirty game. So we need a clean game out of the Leafs for them to be able to get the win. This is a first game for the Leafs of a Pacific road trip, and this is a hard road trip here. They have the Oilers tonight, Calgary on Thursday, Vancouver on Saturday, and then Seattle on Sunday. It's a lot of travel between the two, and thankfully, they've come to Alberta when it's not minus 5,000. The weather has warmed up here. It was -8, -9 today out there when I was shoveling instead of -30. So it feels like beautiful weather comparatively. So I do think offenses open up, but I could see it in that first period. Now I know it's bit us a couple times with the Edmonton Oilers really locking down in the first period. Toronto is going to be so eager to get on that board to start their road trip fast that I think we have a fast battle right out of the gate, and then defenses lock down in the second and third. So I'm not willing to take the full game over the 6.5. 1, because of the juice, and 2, because I could see goaltending and defense is just playing phenomenal in the second and third. I would look at those periods to the under, but I am going to look at that first period to the over 1.5. It's, again, is too highly juiced. I do think both teams will score in that first period. That's coming in at plus 140. But I think it's Edmonton who scores the majority of the goals in the first period. I think it's a 2-1 first period. And I could see this one still ending under that total. So I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers on the puck line, laying a half a goal in the first period at plus 144. And I think that's my favorite bet here of this game, because I think Toronto comes out scrappy. And I think Edmonton is able to convert on the power play in that first period. And we see them covering that puck line. So if you don't want to take the both teams to score in the first period, I don't blame you. My favorite bet is the puck line for the Edmonton Oilers. And you guys know how hard it is for me to back Edmonton like that. Yeah, I could see this one being the under. And Doug, I'm with you. This could be 3-2, but I think it's 2-1 after the first period, and then everything locks down after that. These are the games the Leafs show up for. That is for sure. They play down to their competition and up to their competition. They need to start this road trip really strong in this one, because I tell you, it's one heck of a road trip here. Oilers and Leaf, both teams to score in the first period. I'm with you. I really do think that is a solid way. And Doug going with the 2-2 after the first period. Edmonton first period over 1.5 on the puck line. That's brave. I like it. I like it. What value you're getting there. Let us know. Now, if you look at Edmonton, they are firing like crazy on net. They're the best overall in the league offensively, getting those shots on goal. So Martin Jones absolutely needs to stand on his head. They're averaging 34.4 shots on goal, first in the league. You can look at Zach Hyman. He's actually been leading this team in shots. Zach Hyman is a former Toronto Maple Leafs player as well. So I love looking at angles like that. You can take him for 4+ shots on goal. That's coming in at -120. Again, you guys know I don't like laying the juice. If anyone's going to find the back of the net for Edmonton, I have faith in him to score in this one. That's coming in at +125. In the last 13 games, he's averaging 4.23 shots on goal per game. Or sorry, yeah, 4.23 shots on goal per game. So he's doing fantastic out there. If you're looking for Leafs players to circle, Morgan Riley, Mitch Marner, I definitely would look at tonight. And then you can look at Austin Matthews as well. Okay, you guys, that is everything. I know Skinner is playing well. Who would have thought to be able to say that? Now, someone wanted a same game parlay or just a parlay. Let's build a parlay, you guys. If you're going to build the long shot parlay, let's do okay, let's just go up to this first game. Okay, Seattle and the Rangers. I would probably look at Igor. If you guys want player props or do you just want sides and totals in the parlay? Let me know. Because if I was going to do my favorite bet of this game, it would be Igor over 24.5 safe shots on goal. Because I do think Igor comes out phenomenally strong. The Rangers in regulation and the Kraken under 2.5. So if you're looking to do a side, just not player props, but props, I would do the Kraken's team total under 2.5 in a parlay. I would look at the Colorado Avalanche and the Ottawa Senators for the goal in the first 5 minutes. I actually really like the goal in the first 5 minutes between these two. That's coming in at +154. I think there's great value, or the Sens team total at +108. Again, you guys, I'm also looking for plus money whenever I'm betting things. So when I do parlays, I don't like to take teams +1.5, but you could definitely look at some of those puck lines +1.5 that you're laying a lot of juice in. No Sorokin. Okay. Yeah, Winnipeg, if no Sorokin, absolutely. So let me just double check that. And then I promise we will build a parlay, but I keep getting distracted because, yeah, still not listed. And that's so frustrating that he is not listed. Yeah, let me just check one more place here to see if he is listed on my other book. Still expected for Sorokin. Okay, let's build a long shot parlay. I would take the Rangers, and I know I hate laying big favorites, but I do think the Rangers can get the win. I think the Avs and the Sens goes over the total, so I'd take that over the 6.5. I think the Ducks and the Winnipeg Jets, you've got to look at that one under. And I know it's a 5.5, so, or is it a 6.5? The Ducks and the Winnipeg Jets, you guys, I would fire it up. Ducks and Jets, I would take it under 6.5. So buy yourself up a point if you're doing a long shot parlay all the way. The LA Kings and the Dallas Stars, I don't think you have to worry about buying this one up to under that total. I would look at the first period under 1.5 between these two teams for the Kings and the Stars. I really do think both teams start off playing really elite defense. The New York Islanders and the Winnipeg Jets, again, I would look, as long as Sorokin is in net, I would look at the Islanders and the Jets under 1.5 in the first period. I think it's a strong, strong play. The Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks, I would stay off this in the parlay. I would put the Blackhawks out as my bet of this game. I think they're able to get the win. I think that game goes over, but I wouldn't throw it in the parlay because both these teams are so unpredictable out there. Long shot here for the Coyotes to break that streak. I want to put it into a parlay here. I would look at both teams to score in that first period, or just the over 1.5 for the parlay. I'd put the over 1.5 first period for Calgary and the Coyotes, because then in the parlay, if it's just Calgary who scores 2 goals, then you're not shafted on that parlay. And then Toronto and Edmonton, I would put the Oilers puck line first period for that win. So that would be the parlay. It would be the Rangers On the money line, the Avs and the Sens over, the Ducks and the Jets under 6.5. The first period under 1.5 for the Kings and the Stars. The Islanders and the Jets under 1.5 in the first period. The over 1.5 between Calgary and Coyotes in the first period, and the Oilers on the puck line in the first period versus Toronto. So we'll see. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. If I was to, I don't know. Yeah, I like the team total under for the Ducks. Absolutely, all the way. I really do. So just to recap those best bets, because I don't want people to get confused with that parlay. The Seattle Kraken and the New York Rangers, my little dog was digging at the door and he got in. I like Sorokin over his safe shots. I like the Rangers in reg and the Kraken's team total under 2.5 in that one. Colorado versus the Sens. I like the Sens team total over 3.5. The goal in the first 5 minutes at plus 154. I love the value. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 140. These teams fly over the total, so I would look for that to go over. The juice is just high. Rantanen for the anytime goal at minus 110. And Brady Tkachuk for the anytime goal at plus 135. Now, the Ducks and the Caps, I would look at the Ducks under 2.5. The Caps in regulation at minus 120. The Capitals in the second period on the puck line, laying the half a goal at plus 130. I do think they probably win the first period as well, but I do think it's a 0-0 kind of first period. Max Pacioretty there at plus 200 for the anytime goal. The Kings and the Stars, again, I think this is such a low-scoring 2-1, 1-0 style game. Jake Ottinger and Cam Talbot, I do expect to have phenomenal nights. Now, Jake Ottinger is the goalie I like. His save shots on goal, I'm just not getting numbers yet. So 28, 29, I would take him up to. Kings team total under 2.5 as well. First period under 1.5 at minus 104. The Islanders and the Jets, again, as long as Sorokin is in, I'd put a little bit of money on the Islanders to pull off the upset. The Winnipeg Jets struggle to beat this team. If it's not Sorokin, all day, I'm taking the Winnipeg Jets on the puck line. I'm not going to mess around with the money line. It's too highly juiced, and the puck line is going to give us great plus value to break that losing streak. Again, they haven't won versus the Islanders since December of 2018. I do think they could pull it off. The under 1.5 in the first period. Connor Hellebuck over 24.5 save shots on goal, and the under in this game. The Sharks team total over 2.5 at minus 122. Chicago Blackhawks money line minus 138. I think Chicago gets the win there. The Coyotes and the Flames, the values on the Coyotes for revenge in a bad scheduling spot for Calgary. I like better, though, because I don't want to bet against my team. Actually, I will. Maybe I'll get there. I'm really debating if I just take the Coyotes for a little bit on the money line. But the over 1.5 first period, minus 122. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 168. Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Blake Coleman, Nassim Kadri, Andrew Majapani here for those points and goals tonight. And then Toronto versus Edmonton. I do think puck line Edmonton first period, that's coming in at plus 144. But I do think it can be a 2-1 first period. So give me over 1.5. Both teams to score in the first period is a better bet, though, because you're not laying juice. So you're getting plus 140. I could see this slow down in the second and the third, so I'm not taking the full game to the over. That's everything, you guys. I appreciate you so much for being here. Best of luck with all of your bets tonight. I will be back here tomorrow at the same time, so make sure you join me. Turn on those notifications. And remember, there is no locks. I will never tell you there is a lock in sports betting, so don't go betting your house on the Ducks team total under 2.5 because something could happen. Anything can happen in sports betting. So make sure responsible betting out there for everyone. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't checked out the SportsGrid app, make sure you go over and do so. We cashed last night on the NFL within those parlays, within those shorts. We also got the Montreal one over there. So there's lots of information on it. You guys are the best. Bye.